Hello and welcome back to the Remembering Tuscola webcast. I'm David Porter. I'm here with Bill Englehart and Mike Carroll. Since Bill's on the left this week, are you always on the left, Bill? No, sometimes you're on the other side, aren't you?
I've gotten more liberal.
You're
Bill's
more on the
still
left. You're on the right this week.
right.
The one on the right was in the middle, and the one on the left burned his driver's license, something like that. That's
Something like that.
Yeah,
old old Johnny Cash song.
it's a new world out there, so we're just trying to stay
Yeah.
with it.
Little bumps in the road. Hey, David, we had a someone watching our program last week, our niece, Adrian, and give a shout out to Adrian for putting up with us for a whole program.
Yo, Adrian.
Yo, Adrian. We miss Adrian being here. She's in Georgia.
Yeah, I got a nice note. Let me find it. I don't know if I'll be able to find it quickly. Do. Just talk amongst yourselves.
He said he got a note. To me, a note is
It's a piece of paper,
just a
isn't it?
note.
Yeah.
He got a digital
Oh,
something.
your audio is
Mhm.
starting to crack up a little bit.
Let me see if I got any notes.
I would.
Is it?
Yeah. Um, it's not
Is it
bad, but it
okay
was
now?
cracking up a little bit there. Anyway, it's from Tim Hausman. Says his mom loves
Who?
Tim Hausman. His mom
Oh,
loves
okay.
Oh,
the
yeah.
loves the webcast, and she loves Mike and misses walking with Bill and Andrea.
We miss walking with her.
Well, I hope she's doing well. She and Jim, 56. She was Arcola, I think, wasn't she?
She was Arcola.
And he's
She,
56
yeah.
grad, I think.
They still get out and about. They've been
Oh,
even
yeah.
been to a ball game this year,
Oh, yeah.
basketball
They're very
game.
good supporters.
Very big supporters of the
Yes.
Warriors. And speaking of the Warriors,
Oh, your audio is going out. Let me hang on just a second. Hang hang
Friday night, good luck.
hang on just a second.
Okay.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Hello? Hello?
What?
Hello?
What?
Emil, are you there?
So anyway, are we ready to go?
All
We're
right.
ready.
Rock and roll.
Do. All right. Can you see that?
Oh,
Yeah.
These pictures this week, sponsored by Elite Builders and Trust Bank, are from 1962, March of 62.
Well, wow. Right out of the gate.
Right out of the gate, stumped you. Well, I don't have any names on this one. I believe this is at the courthouse. I
I'll
think you
try
spent
to.
a lot of time in that room on the left there, Mike.
bathroom.
They called that Mike's room. They renamed it the State's Attorney. Yeah. Well, there's Harold Hackett.
Yeah.
And there's
Leroy Davis.
Leroy Davis back there on the left, and there's Harold, the young Harold. And on the right,
I'm a little bit stumped on him.
Copy Moody says it's a Willis Wynn.
Wow.
that's Willis. Well,
A
okay.
long time ago.
Looks like they must be cooking pork chops for at the community building or something.
Yeah, for FFA or somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
No, I'm not even going to speculate.
and the one on the right looks familiar.
and it's not in the courthouse.
No.
No names?
No. Trying to figure out what building had this HV shaft put in there.
Hmm.
That looks like Rowena McDaniel.
Rowena, back in 62, you think? Style show. Kurt McDaniel's wife.
Yeah.
I didn't have any names.
Well, that on the right is from Atwood. Sue Luck. And
Who's a politician?
well, she was a Democrat. Let me think who that was. I think it's Sue Luck. You get a name on that?
I don't have her name, but the politician is Senator Paul Douglas.
Oh, from Chicago. He was the economics professor at University of Chicago. He was a
Mhm.
brilliant guy.
And I don't know who the
Boy,
boy
it
is.
looks familiar in a way.
Well, this is 62, so trying to think.
Wouldn't be that much younger than us. Paul Douglas.
Sharp dresser.
Could be Daryl. Daryl Ferris was deep in politics.
Who did you say his name was?
I don't have the boy's name.
Oh, the boy's
Senator
name.
Paul Douglas.
Paul Douglas.
He doesn't look like him to me, but I remember him at the time. He was a brainiac, economics professor. They're not electing University of Chicago economics professors anymore. They're electing used car salesmen, or they're electing Fox TV personalities.
So they've got this carefully placed newspaper promoting the party.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did anybody else identify Sue Luck?
No. You are the only one. Is
Huh.
this down in the library, maybe in the basement?
It looks like a style show. It could be a women's club style show. It's at the basement floor, Bill.
Kind of looks like it.
They have windows like that with coverings.
No.
No, maybe not. I don't have a name on this one.
Okay, there's
All right.
we
We
got
got a couple of them for sure. You can get,
well on the
you
far,
want to,
which way you want to go?
well, if I'm going from the right, the shortest lady there on the right, next to her is Naomi Hackett.
And the one on the right looks like Jones, Mary Jane Jones. Um, Mabel Hole,
Looks like Mabel.
yeah, second in from the left.
Pie Night.
Try to guess which church this is.
It looks like it's at the community building, doesn't it?
I think
Yeah.
it probably is.
You got names on this?
Yeah, I got a lot of comments. Phyllis Kleiss, third from left. Um, Mabel Hole, second from left. You had that. Mrs. McDaniel, Mabel Hole, Phyllis Kleiss, question mark, question mark. Norma
Oh,
Hackett and Doris Kleiss.
That's Marguerite.
Marguerite McDaniel on the left. She's my
Far left.
sixth grade teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be darned.
She was my grade 6 reading teacher.
Yeah.
And when she retired, they said, "You're replacing her." And I said, "No one replaces her. She was an institution by herself."
Everybody liked Marguerite.
Yes, she was a great school teacher and just a wonderful person.
Her son Tom was my classmate. Tom passed away last year.
He gave me an A+ one day, but I've told that story before.
That's
Harry Pate's
Harry
wife.
Pate's wife.
What was her name?
Marguerite.
Marguerite Pate. That's the Grand Wazar of the Shriners.
Mhm.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
That hat, back when they had hats. Girl,
Mhm.
that is the base. That looks like the basement of the library.
It does look like it, and I'm trying to figure out.
I don't think they had window. I'm trying to think where the windows were.
You got
But those
me.
cases look like the cases they
I
had
thought
there.
that looked like the cabinet, yeah.
They've got that cabinet still there. It has all the old yearbooks in it.
You know, it might have had windows where they did the addition with the addition with the elevator. That could have been windows looking out that direction.
I don't know.
Name on her?
Mabra Bass,
Was that Mabry
Oh my
Bass?
goodness.
according to
Mrs.
Shirley Quinn.
Bass?
That's we bought the golf course off Mabry Bass, where Mike Rogers lives. Boy,
Name, please.
Sue Stewart.
who?
Sue Stewart.
That's your baseball coach's wife, you suppose?
Oh, Ed Stewart
Yeah. Who?
worked out at USI.
Yeah.
Fired your dad.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Nice guy.
She was nice, maybe.
Maybe.
Oh, that's Tobias Preston in the middle.
Yep.
That is
Pam Preston's
Pam
mother.
Preston's my classmate down in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Good realtor down there, classmate. That's Tobias. And on the right, the woman's, they're all familiar. They're all Tuscola women.
You know, doesn't the Ralph Deal's church have set up
Windows like
that
that.
with
Yeah, they
windows?
do. They
I
do.
wish they still had the luncheon.
Yeah, they used the health department. You know, they don't,
Mm-hmm.
you got to cook everything on site or something.
You only have one name on this because the lady on the right looked familiar.
Yeah, go back one more.
I didn't have any names on it.
Okay.
Tobias Preston in the middle.
Yeah, we got Mrs. Preston. We got this next one for sure.
Yeah,
There he is.
there he is.
Looking down. That's Gus Flesser.
You can tell where Greg Skinner got his look.
Boy, oh man. Yeah. Gus all dressed up there. I don't know what this is all about. Oh, I'll bet I do know, although they're not in uniform. It's Masonic.
Masonic.
And is that Mr. Patrick? Wasn't there a guy that was like 100 years old or something?
They'll look 100 right there.
Pretty close to it.
Sub Connor says front left is Frank Lane,
Okay.
and I don't have names on the other two. Shaking hands.
Right.
No names on this one.
No.
No.
Rick Gibson.
Oh,
we got all four of these easily.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Boy sitting at the table is Charlie Cooley. Go ahead.
And that's Geraldine Wellborn, right to left, Charlie Cooley, Geraldine Wellborn, Hoot Gibson, my class, and Summerlot,
Linda Summerlot.
my sister's class.
That away,
63.
Hoot. You knew how to pick them.
Hoot was a chick magnet.
Great guy.
Good looking guy. 6'4.5", 6'5", about 200 pounds.
Of course.
He played right tackle. I played right in. He was our center in basketball. I talked to Don Fortney the other day.
You did?
Don
Was he home?
No, he's up in Chicago or Milwaukee. Don got inducted into the Regis Hall of Fame.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he confirmed, I asked him about, we've reported he tried out for the Bulls in '68 and he tried out for the Olympics. He said, yes, he did both of them.
I knew that. Now, well, I'll talk to you about it.
Geraldine's passed away. Cooley's passed away. Rick's passed away. I don't know about
I think
Summerlot.
Linda's gone. Yes, they're all gone.
Rick was in St. Louis, had a carpet business. I think had chest pains. He tried to drive himself to the hospital. Poor guy.
Boy, he had a little Ford Falcon car, convertible.
Yellow with a black top.
Oh, here we go.
Tommy Terrific. Tom Terrific Grubb.
On the far right is Eric Flume. And in the middle?
Is Dorinda Knapp.
Mm-hmm.
Tom dated Dorinda in high school. Did you know that?
Well, that's why he's smiling.
Yeah. And Eric's not. Tom was class of 63, my sisters on that great football team where we beat Arcola last play of the game. His dad sold Buicks. Floyd was a great guy, and his mom was the secretary at the school.
Yep. Mildred Grubb.
Everybody loved Mildred.
Everyone loved her.
I was late almost every day to school, and I would just walk down the hall. I think my first class was senior was physics with Meyer. I'd walk down the hall, and Mildred would have a pass laying on the desk. How are you, Mike? I said, fine. I would walk down hand to Joe Myers. Thank God I was a good athlete because they would have kicked me out of school.
They would have.
They had to have me for basketball, football. Eric was a year before me with
64.
Phil Deaver and Clayton Harris. He and Clayton were the halfbacks on our football team.
He was fast.
Rick Beatty. In fact, he ran a 100-yard dash in 9.9 with some wind aided back when they ran the 100. He had the fastest
Up until Rob
time.
Kahneman.
Rob Kahneman. Dorinda, her dad Bob was a builder here in town. She had a brother Ronnie and a younger sister, and she went down. She's in Texas. Beautiful girl.
Yeah, she was.
Beautiful girl.
Of course, when I was in school, we didn't have, we had the same letter jackets, but we didn't have the letter sweaters. Is that white or is it gold?
It's white, I think. I never had a gold sweater.
I had, in grade school, I had a
Green,
yellow.
yellow.
Green, the letter was green.
I think I think it's white,
I do too.
and I don't think they gave out.
We didn't have,
sweaters. We just had the jackets.
back in the 40s, they had the old gold letter sweaters.
Yeah. See that T there? Every time you got a letter, you got a.
Mhm.
I had so much stuff on that I couldn't go through airport detectors.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just suck up against it. Okay.
Matt Toon?
Well, that's it. The guy going up for layup is Jim Manwaring.
Bob Wyatt.
Bob Wyatt's behind him, and Eddie Alexander, 23, is down there in case he misses it.
Waiting for the ball. Hold it as steady as you possibly can there.
They're playing Matt Toon.
You can look on the bench. Huh.
Okay, on the bench. Let's look here.
Well, there's Clayton. I can tell Clayton.
Clayton Harris,
Marcus Bunning.
Marcus Bunning, Louis Leitz.
Louis Leach, yeah.
There's Don Rumbly. I'm probably playing. Fortney and I started our senior year.
Well, see, you were your freshman
Freshman year.
Yeah, well, you were slow getting down the court.
Okay.
That's a great crowd there.
Well, this might have been the regional where we won.
Could have been.
We beat our Cola that game. There I am on the left.
Yep.
See that David on the left there, Mike Carroll? And there's Don Fortney over on the right. Two freshmen.
Only they were big freshmen.
Yeah, zero in. See, I had a little hair then.
Yeah.
We were playing Matt Toon. If I remember right, they had
They were
Huddleston, Ronchetti, Tate. I think number 40 is Dick Tate.
They were tough. That's a big game.
We beat him. I think we beat him my freshman year.
Which one are you, behind 40?
No, I'm over to the left. No, I'm
Far left.
Far left.
Far left. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a Rose that's standing by you?
Yeah, that was their guard, Rose.
Yeah.
40s Dick Tate, 50s Neil Pillar. Mark Huddleston should be out there.
Oh, there's Murray on the bench.
Murray with Rumbly, and who's at the very end of the bench there?
I don't know.
Zero on the score table. Let's see, who is that? I don't know. There's Charlie Whalen, the principal, sitting by the scorers table. Denny Dietrich's right behind him. There's Denny.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't sit down. There's Wayne Neal in the middle of the scorers table. And I think Bob Hastings was on the scorers table.
Might have been.
Left or right, Hastings, Wayne Neal, not sure. Charlie Whalen sitting down, Denny Dietrich standing
This
up.
is kind of funny. It's kind of.
Denny standing up, yeah. Case of fire.
Yeah. Evacuate.
But anyway, this guy, go back to the big picture. And is that Bill Burris walking down? No. So the two freshmen there, Don and I, over on the right, Don Fortney is the guy that went on to Regis College and was All-American 3 years in a row, little All-American, and is in their Hall of Fame.
He scored over 1,700 points in college.
Yeah.
That is Burris.
That is Burris walking down there, walking by the
We'll say it looks like Burris, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that Fortney's a man. Fortney was a man his freshman year. I was skinny, but Don was muscle. Okay, the Mattoon cheerleaders. I think we dated most of those girls. I do not remember the Mattoon cheerleaders.
Freshman basketball
Well, Fortney dated.
players.
Fortney dated.
Well, yeah, he would have. Yeah. So
Don probably married a couple of them.
a fantasy for some.
Yeah. Don was a little more mature than that.
You might say that, yeah. Oh, I see Bill Skinner, O.B. Smith, Grandpa Skinner.
There's Grandpa Skinner.
Yeah.
And this Roy Hopkins.
Roy Hopkins.
Cornell.
I don't know if that's Cornell or
Maybe not. Look at old Bill Skinner, though.
Yeah.
What a great guy.
Yeah, he's got
worked hard worker all his life.
As you look at that picture, the fellow against the wall with his head turned is turning towards Bill Skinner. Next to Bill Skinner is Elmer Skinner, Bill's dad, and next to him, O.B. Smith.
O.B. Smith.
And then Roy Hopkins, who's got his mouth full there.
Bill worked hard at the Gus's. Used to make candy in the basement where the ceiling was 5 foot high and
Maybe
bend over.
5 foot.
Carried up the stairs every day. And then he got to be he worked for
went to First Federal.
First Federal up in Champaign. Well, no, then he worked at Champaign at University. What was that one? It's on Green. It's on Green Street.
Yeah.
4th and Green, University Federal.
Yeah. And then he ended up coming here. He was
back.
here.
Yeah, banker.
But then he ended up in Charleston.
He was the old-fashioned kind of guy that there was a blizzard one day and they were closed the roads down, but Bill tried to get up to Champaign. Car broke down and he walked and he froze, got frostbite on his ears and stuff.
I think so.
But he's the kind of guy that would go.
Yeah. No, you
need to get to work.
Elmer Skinner and O.B. Smith, two of the finest gentlemen you'd ever want to meet.
Make great presidents.
Yeah. And Roy Hopkins was dandy.
Okay, here we go.
Oh boy, Newman, come to school.
Oh my God.
Courthouse.
There's Wally Wax. Second one in the upper right is Wally Wax.
Yeah.
And let's see how many of these guys we can get from 62. Yeah, I know you know the bottom row by heart.
Actually, I don't, but no, that's Wally. Second in on the left is God, what's his last name? McGill. He was a McGill.
And I know we know this guy, but I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I can't either.
This one from the left looks like a pretty good DA.
It is. That was at Tuscola back in. Remember Kenny Green and those guys?
Oh man, yeah.
And back in '62, that was the hoodlum look.
Mm-hmm.
Every guy at the pool hall, except for Bill and I, had that haircut. West the Ghouls had it. Hardwick, Wayne had it.
Curl.
Fortney had a Elvis Presley spit curl.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a McGill. I'll have to check.
Yeah.
With Chuck White. Chuck watches this show. I don't know.
There's Tom Van Voris on the right, the clerk.
Mm-hmm. Then from Arthur, isn't that Jones?
No.
Maybe not.
I don't think so.
Okay.
And if you look at the guy on the left, he's smoking a cigarette down there.
Yeah. Tom Van Voris. That's a young Tom Van Voris.
Yeah, he was clerk for a long time. He was a clerk. He was still there when I was state attorney in '76. He was still there, and this is '62.
Nice man.
David Kent Coy says the man on the far left is Ivan Cecil Tippett.
Ivan Tippett.
Ivan Tippett drove school bus and was a deputy sheriff.
Boy, part-time Tuscola officer, wasn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
He's,
Jiving Ivan.
it's also David Kenton-Coy's grandfather, Clifford Strader's brother-in-law.
I'll
Yeah,
be
I
darned.
think he was at Tuscola. At the Wick, he was usually the guy patrolling the Wick,
Ivan Tippett.
the 39 dance.
Well, I haven't thought about him in years.
No, that's a name out of the past.
Mm-hmm.
Nice guy.
Oh, God. I know on the far right, that's Bob Sumption,
Deputy Sheriff Robert Sumption.
chief deputy to Ronnie Harbaugh.
Newman. And his son Bob, who lives here in town. Great guy. Used to be a mayor in Newman. And this guy's familiar right here on the
When I
left.
saw this negative, I thought this isn't going to come out. This is a horrible negative. I was
Well,
surprised.
It's a good picture.
It's like a noir. It's like a film noir shot.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how well it came out when I scanned it. Modern technology helps.
What are we saying about Bob? I'm gonna leave it alone.
No.
Okay. Well, there's Gene Miller, the sheriff, coming out of the circuit court on the left, walking out the door. Gene was, when I was state attorney in 76, Gene was sheriff. He retired about 1978 or 80, I forget, 77. Back in those days, you couldn't succeed yourself. He would run for sheriff and then he'd be treasurer for 4 years.
Yeah.
Then he'd be for sheriff. They would switch it back
Yeah.
and forth. And then that's Gene. And if you go left or right, the third guy in a white jacket is Jim Lemna, lawyer, famous lawyer from Tuscola, really good guy.
This fellow looks familiar.
We ought to know this guy with the
Yeah, I know
bow
him.
tie.
You have names on this?
And John always says the one holding the overcoat is Laverl Byers.
Oh, that is Laverle's. That's a young
Golly,
Laverle
that's
buyer.
a very young,
That is, well, that's 60 years ago.
I guess.
63 years ago. That's
Well,
Laverle. That's great. I
that's-
thought I recognized
You
it.
know that basketball picture, you never changed it.
I still have my hair.
You could have jumped now. Those guys could have played
I
with
could
you.
dunk it now if I could stand on top of a bus.
I think Laverle's in his 90s now, isn't he?
I think he is. Great guy. One of those pillars of the rock, one of those solid rocks that you build your society on.
Yep. Farmer.
And his daughter married Ronnie Harbaugh's son.
There you go. Susie married Larry.
Susie Harbaugh married Larry.
Mhm.
Harbaugh was a great, just like his dad.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Larry was head of the 9/11 Commission, and I was the lawyer for the 9/11 Commission. But when Larry gave his word, that was it. I like those old-fashioned guys.
Larry's a good boy.
Larry was a good boy. There's Gene Miller in the middle, sheriff.
Don't know who the state trooper is
They're
next to him.
all smoking. The three in a row smoking,
Yeah. In the courthouse.
and Gene
courthouse.
smoking the thing. Yeah, the state trooper looks familiar too, but I can't remember that far back.
Taking a break.
This
Yeah.
must, you know what? This must have been a pretty big deal here for,
Well, I think it could have been, it wasn't a trial.
God, that looks like Bernie Stabler from the side, doesn't it? A little bit, but it's probably not.
Well, Eric Alexander on one of the pictures says, "Oh yes, the Dr. Gillespie killings."
Well, Jim Lemna's there and he's in a jacket. I don't think it was a trial.
So I don't know. Sometimes Eric uses pop culture references, and
Well,
I must have missed that one.
Bill and I are not pop culture people. We're not even culture people.
Well,
We're not even people.
not up on pop culture much either.
There we go.
this guy wanted to play.
I thought somebody might know who that is, but I don't have any names.
Nope. Well, there is,
Hmm.
he's with Hop Connor. He used to raise the flag all the time.
Oh, you think that's him? Cummings, Pat
Pat
Cummings.
Cummings, is that Pat Cummings?
No one else would know that but you and me and some of the old timers, Pack, Chub Connor.
Chubb should know.
But I don't think that's Pat Cummings. I don't know.
Well, maybe he never wore
He
that.
was bigger.
Well, plus he got a
Sport coat?
a sports coat. Yeah, we got the wrong guy.
Gee, many.
Yeah, old Pat, he never had a sports coat.
Was that big thermometer in the corner?
That's what's his name, isn't it? That we shot pool with.
And we shot pool with a lot of guys.
Oh, we didn't have hands.
Bill Trout.
That Bill Trout? Go back to that guy right there.
Bill Trout was smaller than that, wasn't he?
Which one?
He's got he's got a hand, doesn't he, over here on the right?
Well, it's in his pocket.
He's lost his left hand.
Don't know.
Don't know. Little Bill Trout worked for Rich Lamb.
There's Harry Pate, the judge on the right. These might be judges.
Boy, he looks.
There's that sign
Yeah.
that says, "Let justice prevail or the heavens fall," I think. Harry's getting some kind of
Award. Was that Douglas County,
that looks like Bill Hancock.
like his dad?
Yeah. Well, I think his dad's name was Bill, wasn't it?
I don't know. I forget.
Yeah, I think he's a Democrat. I think he was head of the Democratic Party in Douglas County was Bill Hancock from Miller Grove. Bill Hancock's, we know, his dad. And Harry was probably retiring in 60. No, he wasn't retiring.
No, he wasn't. He didn't.
He was there for your classmate.
Oh
wasn't
man, he was there.
Yeah.
You're not kidding.
But I think that's my guess. Anybody got any names?
Nope. I don't have any names on this one either.
Well, isn't that Mrs. Helm, Everett's?
It looks like Everett Helm's wife.
This fellow on the left looks real familiar, but no names here?
Nope.
Okay, next picture.
We've seen this is the same one before, except
Mm.
Harry's smiling now. Harry Pate on the right. Okay. That's Bill Jones on the right. Is that Bill Jones?
That's Bill Jones from Bourbon.
Bourbon on the right. Move to Tuscola. These are farm awards, are they? What are these? Can you zero in on those awards? Are those?
Golly.
Could be farmer awards.
I have no idea.
Huh.
Far left guy. That's Johns. That's Lloyd Johns from Arcola.
Lyle Jones's dad.
No, Lyle Johns' brother.
Oh, is that his brother? Well, I guess you're
Mhm.
right. 62.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you're
his
right.
brother,
Lloyd.
Lloyd John.
Well, we should know all these farmers
He
then.
was on the school board at Arcola. Well, we should, but
According to David
Well,
Kent
Pat.
Coy, left
Pardon?
next to Johns is Horace Snuffy Duffel of Hinesboro.
Nuffy Duffel. Oakland, Hinesboro.
And then one of them is maybe the second one in from the right, Keith Daig from Hugo.
Keith
that's a
Dagg.
dag.
Dagg.
Yeah,
We finally got our Hugo guy in there.
there we go.
We've been guessing Hugo for 5 years here.
Yeah. Anytime we don't know somebody, they're from Hugo.
Yeah, the Duffel family was well known and Dagg was well known.
That's Frida Morris.
You think so?
I believe so.
Which one?
Third one in, from the
Pearls?
right.
Or
I'm
from the
not-
right?
If it
With
is,
the
it could
pearls.
be her office.
Yeah,
Kind of. I don't remember her being that tall, but
She was county clerk. I don't know if that's her. That's back in 62. Phil would know.
Kelly Schultz says second from the left, she thinks is Lenona Kaufman. next is Sharon Thompson.
Yeah, that's Sharon Thompson on the left.
That's Pam Jensen's cousin.
Yep, from Bourbon.
Bourbon.
She looks familiar too. This is okay.
What's on her shoulder there?
Official. I
Official.
think if that's Frida Morris, I'm not sure it is.
May not be.
That could be her office. It just didn't look like Frida.
Kind of look like Mary Kay Ryan.
Yeah.
Well, this is March 62.
Yeah, go back to that last picture because she was a Democrat too.
It's Mary Kay Ryan.
Yeah. This is a Democratic conflab.
Douglas County had Democrats?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Usually the sheriff. The sheriff was usually a Democrat. They
might end up having more.
Yeah. There's Mike Ryan. There's Mike Ryan, or right back there against the.
Oh, that's Jim.
Jim Ryan.
Jim Ryan against that screen. I think you're right. I know you're right.
Great guy.
Oh, there's Les Dick.
Les Dick.
Shaking hands with that fellow.
This is a Democratic conflab.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you ought to see Darrell Ferris in there somewhere.
Well,
he'd be 7 years old.
Yeah, he'd been
there's a young boy here.
Yeah, he'd been 7th grade. He got active pretty early. Well, this is another one of those things. They brought some another town to the courthouse for probably Law Day. That could have been Law Day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, which town is this?
Well, Rick Reinhardt says the girl in the front on the right kind of looks like his cousin Gail Bender from Newman. And you got another DA.
You could land an aircraft on that
DA
haircut.
or a flat top.
That's a DA. It's not a flat top. You could land a plane on that haircut.
Yeah.
And who said that was his cousin?
His cousin Gail Bender from
Newman. Gail Bender was her dad. They raised honeybees.
Mr. Bender.
She was a pretty girl, but I'm going to have to tell Chuck White to watch this.
Yeah, Chuck would know who all these people were.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Second from left is Senator Paul Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
And Chub Connor says to the left of him is John Henson. To his right is Bill Hancock from Villa Grove.
Well, this on our left is Bill Hancock.
Mm-hmm.
And on his left is Henson, Villa Grove. Villa Grove was the center of most Democratic activity.
And he says on the far right question mark, a Strader.
Don't know.
From Hinesboro.
But that's the same. We identified Bill Hancock earlier, giving an award to Harry Pate.
That'd be Norm's dad, I think.
Yeah, here we go. If this is 62, what class would this be?
Well, Cub Scouts,
Let's say
8
they're
years old.
6, 7, 8.
So they were born in 55, 56.
54.
They'd be 1874. 74, 75, 73, maybe. That's when they graduate. The kid here looks familiar. Second one in on the right.
Well, he looks familiar.
You got names?
According to Rick Reinhardt, second one from the
I know,
right.
that's Willoughby.
Well, Richard Willoughby, second from the left.
Yeah.
And second from the right, Rick Reinhardt says is Kerry Jones.
Okay.
And Brenda Voller says Tim Brown, third from left, led by 40 Martyrs.
Oh, his brother was Peter Brown in my class, but yeah, Tim's dad was the administrator of Jarman Hospital.
Christine Junkin says maybe Brad Meeks to the left of Carrie Jones.
I don't know.
Bradley Meeks.
Meeks.
Brad
Brad
Meeks.
Meeks?
Yeah, it looks like Brad. His face looks like Bradley Meeks. Yeah, I like that one.
Good picture.
Yeah, neat picture.
Oh, there's Bill Alexander, second right. And then Mr.
Okay.
Sipe.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's his first name?
Well,
Wayne Sipe.
Wayne Sipe.
So right to left, not sure.
Oh, this is oh gosh, Crowder. Isn't that Crowder? It kind of looks like him.
I don't know. That Bill
Chuck Crowder.
Chuck, and then Bill always had a little mustache there.
Yeah. Bill Alexander was really a nice guy.
Ran a cleaner shredder just north of the museum. Where'd Wayne work?
Plant.
Does he?
Mm-hmm.
And his wife worked the courthouse, and Wayne was about 6'3", and his wife was about 6 foot, and their boys wound up being
well 6'9".
Well, 6'9".
At least Tim probably 6'4" or 5, and then Eric
was 6'3" or so.
I forget what Eric.
Mark was about 6'9", played college ball. It wound up being an engineer, really nice family, great family.
Yep.
Who's down there? There's McCumber, Smoke McCumber on the left, Tom McCumber.
Oh God,
there's
Gary Alexander
in the middle. And I think that could be Eric Sipe right in the back.
I think it very well could be. It looks like Eric Sipe in the back.
You guys got all the names I had. Another cool picture.
That is cool.
That's good.
That is a good picture. And there's Ryan back there.
That's Kevin Ryan in the sweater back, and that's Mrs. Ryan.
That's his mother right there. Kevin Ryan standing.
A lot of family activities at the community building.
Mm-hmm.
Many family activities. That's Wilbur French, Mr. and Mrs. French. Second in, and they were their daughter was in my class, Connie.
Wilbur and Evelyn.
Yeah, Wilbur and Evelyn. Good folk.
Where's Connie?
Virginia, I believe.
Those are the only names I have.
You can name most of them on
the far right is Mark Wish.
Oaks.
Gary Oaks. Mark Kleiss. God dang it. Help me, Kleiss. He's in my class. Mike Kleiss. Then Barry Kleiss. Kenny Kappas. Chuck Grimm. Rob Kahneman. You got that one.
Jimmy Kleiss.
Upper left.
Norbert Kappas.
Doug Rice. Wayne Reinhardt. Alan Siebens. Terry Reinhardt. Tim Hole. And help me. I don't know who's on the upper right.
I think you got more names than I did. Yeah, Alan Siebens, third from left, top row. Next one is Terry Reinhardt, Barry Kleiss. Oaks, front row, second from right. And Heather Taylor Brown asked Amy Kappas Jacoby, "Is that your dad, back row left?" And she said yes. But I think you had more names.
Well, we got some of my classmates in here.
Were these all Catholics? No, I don't think Wish was a Catholic, was he?
Yeah.
Okay, might
Yeah,
be
he
all
was.
Catholics.
Oh, here we go.
There's my
You get
class.
them. You
On the
get
left
these.
is Tom McDaniel, Marguerite's son, who wound up being a big executive with Caterpillar. Great guy. Ran the mile and a half mile with Stu Carmack. There's good old Wayne Reinhardt.
Paul.
Paul. He was Wayne's older brother.
Paul's grandson's quite an athlete here now.
Orville and Maxine were his parents.
Yep.
And his grandson, Dylan Graves, is a
Outstanding athlete.
outstanding athlete.
That's a good picture of Paul. It really is.
That is a good picture. And over on the right is John McDaniel, Tom's brother. They had Marguerite McDaniel had two boys and a girl, and that's John. Wayne Henniger is my class next to him.
And that's his dad standing behind the chair.
That's his
Wayne's
dad. And Wayne was an only child, great musician. I've got a CD of him singing in a gospel group. Is that Leroy Davis?
Looks like Leroy Davis.
We should know this guy.
Well, George Trout? I don't know.
And the guy standing is, what was Wayne's dad's first name? Thelma was his mom.
I don't know.
Thelma Henniger.
Just Mr. Henniger.
The guy standing. They're all standing, Mike.
Used to call.
Yeah, the guy standing there is Wayne Henniger.
Yeah.
We don't know the guy third from the left, next to Paul.
We should know him, but
he looks familiar.
Yeah.
Well, you got more names than I had.
Well, that's
Mrs. Reinhardt.
Mrs. Reinhardt. They're digging in the
right, and on her right shoulder is Georgianne Rice.
Georgianne Rice, and there's Mrs. Henniger. There's
Mrs. Henniger.
Second from the left is Thelma Henniger. Trying to think what group this would be.
Debbie Carter says her mom, Norma Kleiss, at the right end of the table.
Okay.
You know that is. Norma Kleiss made good.
Marcy Shoemaker says next to Norma is Irene Reinhardt.
Yeah.
Toppy Moody says Margaret Wynn and Ned. Bud Rice.
Bud Rice.
That's Georgianne.
Georgianne's. That's Bud Rice's wife, Georgianne.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. She says supposed to be Mrs. Bud Rice.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's all the names I've got.
Yeah, like we said, second from left is Thelma Henniger, Wayne's mother. I don't know her on the end down here.
I don't either.
Who's that?
Oh, there you are.
I'm number 45, David.
Lineups have been introduced. That's what that is.
This was the do you think I look skinny?
Huh?
Yeah.
I think you look pretty thin. You were all elbow.
I was a freshman, and that's me. And I think right behind me, you can't see, is probably Fortney. And there's Bob Wyatt, center, Eddie Alexander, and Jim Manwaring.
Heck of a picture. You ever seen that picture before?
Never seen that picture before.
Isn't that good? Look at the cheerleaders.
The cheerleader is Nuccio, Barb Nuccio, and then Jan Charnetsky on the left. Manwaring, by the way, I got a chance to nominate him and get him in the Tuscola Hall of Fame, was executive director of the American Waterways Experiment Station in Denver, and he was considered the world's leading expert on water. Testified all around the world, formed international organizations. Came out of Little Tuscola. Bob was a brilliant guy, worked for Dow Chemical,
And a nice guy too.
Great guy. The Wyatt family was a great family. Eddie was you wanted Eddie on your side. Look at him. He's ready to rumble.
Oh man.
He's ready to rumble. I don't remember those uniforms.
Oh, I do. Yeah, the T on the side.
Yeah.
They were kind of old, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were a big 170-pound kid, freshman.
6'3.5".
Yeah.
I think this is the sectional.
Courtney probably had gone to the stands to talk to someone, maybe.
Don had a senior girl he was talking to. Don was about 3 years advanced.
Yeah.
That was a great bunch of guys. And we won that first regional title in 29 years.
That's a big deal.
And the reason it took 29 years was just one school system, and we always had to play Mattoon. It was a dominant Big 12 school. But we beat them that year.
Isn't that funny how they don't dominate anymore?
No, we beat them that year. And we beat Arcola had a great team that year, and we beat them.
Mm-hmm. That's a wonderful picture.
I'd like to have that picture, David, if you can remember to print that off.
Okay.
Okay, this is Harry Pate again.
Back to the lawyers, politicians.
That's back in the, that is the library, third floor library. And in the southwest corner, and that's the door down to the circuit clerk's office. They would come up the back way.
Yeah, Paul Douglas seated in the center, and
Gable on the left.
Chubb Connor says John Henson, State Director of Banking, and Judge Harry Pate.
A lot of power there. There's Bill Hancock on the left. We've seen this photo before. Paul Douglas, Henson. Don't know the two guys on the right.
If that's straighter.
From the Hinesboro area?
Yeah. Cliff?
Well, there were so many of them.
There's so many, yeah. Well, there's so many in the one family.
That's old man Strader.
Yeah.
Well, there was Juice Strader that.
I'd be his dad, I think.
Yeah. I think he had 3 or 4 boys.
I don't have any names on this one.
I go back to your office back there.
That goes back into the, no, let me look at that again. No, this goes, well, it looks like it does go back into but there used to be a picture right here. What happened to that big picture?
I don't know.
Looks like Jim Maxey right there. I don't know if that's Jim.
I don't think so.
I don't think Jim was political. There's Harley Hammock in the upper left was the superintendent of schools, Harley Hammock.
Jack Macula.
Jack Macula had a clothing store where the Tuscola Township building is, downtown Tuscola, and then he went to Champaign, opened up Macula's. And sitting left is Bill Hancock again. Not sure. Looks familiar, doesn't he? Macula, rhymes with Dracula, was one of his ads on TV.
I think they were eating steak. Look at these plates down there at the bottom.
Well, this was high powered.
Oh.
Harley Hammock wound up going over to Springfield, I think.
Yeah, like T-Bone.
He was big in the state in the education.
Yeah, this was a big Democratic conflab.
He was a nice man.
Harley was a great guy. They're leaving the courthouse.
How about fins on a car?
Those are, yeah, they could fly. Cars from 57 up to about 63 could fly if you got going fast enough. There's old Milas Thomas's house across there. Kleist lives there now. There's Mattoon. Okay, the second one in is Paul Rose, Neil Pillar, Ron Ketty, and Dick Tate on the left, 40. Played football for Illinois with Terry Miller, Dick Tate. That's
That
it.
was a tough team.
Well, that was a team we upset.
Yep.
They were favored by probably 20 points.
Pillar, was that the big center?
Yeah.
50?
I think that's Neil Pillar. Might have been a Hodeby on that team too. Mark Huddleston should be there, but I'm not sure that's Mark Huddleston. I played college ball with Mark. There's Wyatt, and I don't know who 33 is.
Your substitute.
I never came out. There I am.
Yeah, there you are.
I'm over my energy
That's right.
for the offense.
Good idea.
You want to save your energy for the offense.
Yeah.
And there's Fortney.
Yeah.
Over on the left is Fortney. Looking up.
The old scoreboard.
We were up 20-12. Holy cow. Oh, there's Carroll McCarty in the middle.
Mhm.
And
That's not Orlando McDaniel now.
it isn't. We thought it was.
It looked like her. That almost looked like Owens, Lina J. Owens. I could recognize Carroll McCarty, but that's about it.
Yeah, I could too. That's the only name I had.
She's from Sweden. She had that blonde Swedish hair.
Wonderful gal.
We got some more Newman people here. Let's see if we can. That's Arthur, I think.
The letter jacket tells me it's Arthur.
Well, I'm looking at the truck back here too.
School bus.
School bus AR. I think it's Arthur. Well, we ought to know.
I don't have any names.
Oh, I don't see. I was looking for Larry Jones or Phil Beachy. Phil was about what, 61, 62, Arthur?
Yeah. So I think Phil was 62.
Yeah, played guard. And there's
There we go.
That's it.
We lost a friend from Arthur.
CW.
CW.
Yeah, I went down to Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday I went to Arthur for CW Kenny's. Writing an article up there about CW and Steve Willoughby and Linda Eads
Yeah,
back in the Arthur days.
back in the Arthur.
We all had a
days.
town, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yours was what?
Well, more. I was going to say sometimes more than one town.
Well, we had more than one town.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, we dated.
Yeah.
Well, there was something back in those days that there was something about date. We were close, Oak Hall Valley, and especially Douglas County.
It was the Wick.
It was the Wick. We had a big dance. Everybody came in from around the county, but we dated girls from Villa Grove. You'd go to a town like Villa Grove, you'd date a girl, and you go through the 2 or 3 of them. Arcola girls.
Oh, you got to watch it with the Arcola girls.
But the Arthur girls, that was a good
There were
play.
Arthur girls. Yeah.
And then,
Grove.
Atwood, not so much. And out of town, wasn't much. I dated one Sullivan girl and one Unity girl. But I don't remember much.
I had a girl come all the way from Taylorville.
Well, you had special charms. But that back then the girls in your own class were wonderful, but there was something exotic about it's like going to France back then.
Yeah.
I mean, driving over to Newman was
Cause
like going to a foreign country.
I can relate. I remember spending some time with an Atwood girl. The girls in my own class, own school, didn't seem to want to go out with me because they knew me.
Well, that's the problem.
That's a problem.
That's one of the problems I had, David.
Yeah.
So a girl from Sullivan or Arthur would say, "Oh, here comes this Tuscola stud, this football player." They didn't know me.
Yeah.
Now you were well known. No, you and Skinner were well known. You cut a wide swath,
It was a wide swath. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was good times. The dance brought everyone together
The
on
Wick.
Saturday night.
The Wick was there. The Wick started Jim and Carol Hausman and Toppy Moody, class of 56, I think, talked about they started the Wickham. And I asked Toppy the other day what it stood for, and they told me one time, and I don't know, but that became quite a deal. And we had bands in Easter and the Artistic, Jim Easter and the Artistic, Dave Cash, Nickel Bag, Shattertones.
Shattertones.
And
Yeah.
we got kids from
Lois Lee and the Rockets.
We got kids from all around. They'd come down from Monticello, they'd come up from Sullivan. And
Look,
there was almost always a good couple guys got drunk and a couple guys got some good fights.
yeah,
a fighter,
always a good fight.
usually over, believe it or not, a gal.
Yeah, usually over a girl.
All right. Well, I know Mike's got an appointment to get to. So anything else?
David, I enjoy those photos. I would like that one there because I don't have any from my freshman year. If you can remember it. That was a nice photo too. I don't know if Bob took that. Were these Bob's or is this review or journal?
I wouldn't think
Yes,
White
in
would
journal,
take.
but I don't know.
Would you think he would take that?
Well, I don't think he's Bob was the
No.
athletic guy.
Yeah, Bob.
But that's a high quality photo that he showed there. Of course, Bob bought the best camera that was available.
Those basketball pictures were great.
Yeah.
They really were. And that was at the time, that was something that was, I mean, it was almost historic for athletics for two freshmen to start on the varsity and then win the crazy regional. It was just wow, top of the world.
Yep.
It really was.
Well, we were lucky to be tall. David, it helps to be tall in
Yep.
basketball.
Yeah, and I wasn't. I'm still not.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
All right. Thank
We'll
you.
look forward to next week.
All right.
Hey,
We'll see you
David,
next week.
after we hang up here, I want you to do something. I'll show to Becky.
All right.
See you later. Thanks for our
see you next week.
sponsor.
Yep. See you next week on Remembering Tuscola.